Hello everyone, I'm in the Manhattan neighborhood, better known as Tribeca, and today I'm going to begin my tour right off of West Street here, and we're about maybe half a mile from the Hudson River, which is directly behind these buildings here. And there's actually some pretty big corporations in these buildings. This one directly in front of me is 200 West Street, which is the global headquarters for Goldman Sachs. And the building next to it is 200 Vesey Street, which is the corporate headquarters of American Express Corporation. And the building to the left of that is 225 Liberty Street, and there's the Oppenheimer Funds Corporation and State Street Corporation in that building. And right across the street from those buildings, right there, that would be the new World Trade Center building. That's One World Trade Center. And this older building here, this is the corporate headquarters for Verizon Corporation. And before Verizon purchased this building, this was the New York Telephone Company. And this building is showing up as being built in 1927. And next to the Verizon building, that would be, let's see if I get a better shot of it here. That's that big stainless steel and glass building. That's 7 World Trade Center. So there's quite a few big buildings and corporations just right in here in Tribeca. And across the street, this building here is the headquarters for the Bank of New York. And it looks like they're doing some construction on the World Trade Center. It's a pretty heavy-duty steel and concrete building that they're putting up. And I'm just going to walk up Greenwich Street today and try to point out as many buildings as I can. And Greenwich is the next street coming up here. And this would be Greenwich Street, and this big brick and glass building would be part of the Manhattan Community College system, and it's showing up as their arts center. And this building right in between, this older looks like a stone and concrete building, that's listed as the federal building, and it doesn't really say what federal offices are there. It looks like they also have a post office there, but it's pretty big building to be just a post office. And I'm now walking on Greenwich Street, and this would be the front of the Bank of New York. And some of these buildings, not a whole lot is showing up for them, like this one across the street. I tried looking it up, and it's basically just a standard office building. Probably pretty similar to what you would find in almost every major city. No major corporation is showing up as a a tenant in this building, but they do have a Target store right on the ground floor there, so that's pretty convenient too for the people that live here. And they have these food carts set up here on the sidewalk. This looks like Korean food. See how much is lunch today. A teriyaki chicken bowl is $8. And now crossing Murray Street, and this gets into more of a residential type area. And off to the right, there's a Barnes & Noble store, and up above they have apartments. And this looks like a newer building, and I was just curious to see what an apartment rents for around here. And a 2-bedroom apartment in this building, this is 89 Barclay Street, and a 2-bedroom apartment starts at $5,300 in this building. And off to the left, this is a grade school. It's called Independence School. And to the right, more apartment buildings, and on the ground floor there's a few businesses, a TD Ameritrade Bank. And the next street here is Chambers Street, and there's a McDonald's located right there on the ground floor of that building. It's always good to have a McDonald's. Never know when you need to get a cheap bite to eat. And there's actually some pretty good restaurants located on this street that aren't too expensive. And off to the left here is a park. It's called Washington Market Park, and it's fenced off pretty well. They got this iron wall around the whole park. See if I get a better view of it. It's like just a basic park, pretty much. Not sure why they have so much security there, but could be a private park, possibly for the school. And across the street, more apartment buildings, and looks like there's a few vacant stores, and that seems to be kind of happening more now, and it could be because of the coronavirus kind of made it difficult for a lot of these businesses. And I think the tourism, it's down quite a bit from where it was in 2019. And this large building here, this is Independence Plaza, and from their website they say they're a high-rise luxury apartment complex built in 1975. And these are a little bit cheaper than the apartments that I was looking at before over by the Barnes & Noble. A 2-bedroom in this apartment complex starts at about $5,000 a month. So even though it's an older building, it's not a whole lot cheaper. And And across the street there's two Italian restaurants. One is Langola's and the other one is Gigino's. And I looked at their website and they seem to have pretty good customer reviews, and they're both 4 or 5 star restaurants, and surprisingly it's not too expensive at Gigino's Italian. A plate of pasta is showing up at about $25, and there's quite a few different varieties of pasta to choose from. And a personal pizza is about $20. So overall, pretty reasonable prices for New York in general, and especially for this area. And to the left, I'm still in front of the Independence Plaza Apartments, and further down that would be the second tower of the Independence Plaza, and off to the right there's a more apartments up on top and a few small businesses. There's a laundry cleaners, and looks like the business on the end is a Joseph carpet business. And this next street is J Street, and that large building at the very end there, that would be the former headquarters for the Western Union Corporation. And that building was built in 1930, and it served as the headquarters for Western Union up until 1973. And the building is still used as a data center and office building. And continuing on, still walking on Greenwich Street. And the next restaurant is called Zona Tribeca. It's right there across the street, and that's listed as a Mexican restaurant. And they also have pretty good customer reviews. Pretty much all these restaurants are showing up online as 4 to 5 stars. And I've never eaten here, but apparently at least some people do like these restaurants. A steak taco is $18 there, and a beverage is $5 around there. So not too bad, a little bit more expensive than the Italian restaurant. And more restaurants across the street. There's a American Cut Steakhouse and Molino, New York. The Molino, New York is a Italian restaurant, and this one looks to be a bit more expensive. A pasta plate here is about $30 to $40, and it also has good customer reviews though. It's a 4 to 5 star restaurant. And it looks like there's quite a few empty buildings, empty storefronts that are next to it. There's a for lease sign on that building. And the next restaurant is Benvenuto Cafe. And just looking at their website, it's a decently priced cafe. I'm looking at their breakfast menu, and a 2-egg breakfast with bacon and toast is $13. So that's not too bad. And off to the left, that would be the third tower of the Independence Plaza Apartments. And all 3 of these towers pretty much look the same. And total there's I believe about 1,300 apartments just in that one complex between the three towers. And we are now approaching Moore Street, and that building right there is the headquarters for Citibank, and that's a pretty big building. And of course there's going to be restaurants near the Citibank headquarters. Let me see if I can get across the street. Here's the front of the Citibank headquarters. And the one thing I like about this building is they actually have an open space area. Something like this is pretty hard to find. Most of New York is all concrete, and if there is an open space area like that, it will be blocked off. And it looks like they're just blocking it off to clean the sidewalk. So if you have a pet with you, that'd be a good place to take your dog. Not sure how much Citibank would like that, but anyhow, continuing on Greenwich Street. And there's more apartment buildings across the street, and first restaurant is the Greenwich Street Tavern, Restaurant and Pub. And since we are at Citibank, throughout New York City, they have these bike rentals, and these are sponsored by Citibank. So you can rent one of these bikes. The whole day is $15. And right now it's not too busy in New York, Manhattan, so it would probably save you a lot of time. But it just seems like when things get busy though, when the sidewalks are really crowded, I'm not sure how much time this is going to save you to rent a bike. And starting to get into the industrial, more industrial part of Tribeca. And the last restaurant on my tour here, this is Wolfgang's Steakhouse across the street, and this is also a 4 to 5 star restaurant. It's a little bit more expensive. A steak dinner will set you back about $60, and the sides, vegetables and salad are of course extra. Hello everyone, I'm on the boundary of Tribeca, looking towards the south, and towards the north here would be Soho, and this is Broadway and Canal Streets. And I just wanted to point out a rather interesting building. That tower right in the center is called 57 Leonard Street, and that is a 60-story condo complex that was built in 2017, and that is in Tribeca, and has rather interesting architectural features to it, just the way it's shaped and whatnot. And a condo there starts in the $3 million price range, so it's a little bit expensive, and just wanted to include that in my tour as well. Thank you.